Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Akai, and today I've got you guys the Rewind Spawn Guide. And by the end of this video, you're going to know how to play this map exactly. You're going to understand why these flips happen. You're going to understand how and where to be to get the best optimal positions for getting each heart. Before we even jump into it, let's talk about this area right here. This is the anchor position you are looking for, the good side. It's in laundry or blue, whatever you guys want to call it. If you're inside the anchor position, this will cause your teammates to spawn at the closest spawns to the anchor position side. Of course, we're talking about this side here. Now, if the enemy team is also in the anchor position and you guys are both in the anchor position, you guys are going to have what you call split spawns or parallel spawns, relatively the same thing. Split spawns usually refers to one of your teammates spawning here, one of them spawning on this side. Usually what we're looking at here is mainly parallel spawns where let's say one of you guys is in the point, another enemy is also in the point. One of you guys will get the spawns over here, one of you guys will get the spawns over here. And starting off with a red side, we have our primary spawns right over here and one behind this truck right here. You have your secondary spawns back over here, and then you have these, what I call them, revenge spawns. The game giving you one last chance to keep your spawns, basically. Again, your primary and your secondary are where you're going to spawn first. You only spawn the revenge spawns if your primary and secondary are blocked. And then obviously from here, they can just see your primary. So that's going to block them. But if they can get up all the way over here, just next to the anchor position here, that's going to block your secondaries. And that's going to make you guys spawn on your revenge spawns. So whenever you spawn up, think about where you're spawning and why you're spawning there. If you're spawning here, what that means is they're starting to push from this side as well, right? So just keep that little bit of knowledge in mind. And, you know, it comes very, very handy. For the blue side, you're looking at your primary one right behind the spawn SWAT truck. Or actually, I think it's not the SWAT truck, it's the RV here. The other one is inside P4. You are looking at your secondary spawns behind this truck here. And one between these, this car and this wall. It's like a very awkward spawn. I don't really understand why that one is there. Again, your revenge spawns are on this side. Oh, that's actually a bit too far. Just these two back to back. Nothing crazy. Again, if you are playing the red side, obviously you do want the enemies to spawn the furthest away possible from P1. And on this point, necessarily, I don't really believe that the revenge spawns are the furthest spawns. These ones definitely look like the furthest. The revenge spawns, it depends how you want to play. Just because your secondary spawns are they're so in the open, it's very easy to block them. Like, for example, the red team, all they need to do is they just need to push up to roughly like right here. There's a little heady here under the pillar, like the garbage and stuff. And then obviously the big ass block there, their dumpster area right there. So if they're just here camping, you know, this blocks the primary and secondaries, making them spawn this one over here. But then obviously this does lead them to an easy break to P2. So you want to play for red team, you want to play it a little bit more strategic, in my opinion. I think you don't want to push them to revenge. I think you want to block their revenge always and kind of just make them spawn this secondary, which is pretty easy to. You just kind of just, you know, hold it down from the inside, and roughly something like this is what I would say. Kind of just hold it like that. That is a horrible drawing, but you get the point, I think. Well, you should. All right, let's jump straight into P2 there. P2 being on this side, obviously we know that is the good side. The thing about P2 is that it's so hard to kind of flip the spawns on P2, and I'll explain that right now, right away. Once you understand why it's so hard, you realize, okay, that actually makes sense. Now, the reason why this goddamn P2 is so hard to flip spawns is because you have the anchor position right here. But just remember that blue box is the anchor positions. Now let me show you the spawns. Now, a lot of you guys will see this and you'll be like, what the fuck? Because that's how I feel about it pretty much. So this is your primary. Your other primary is right here. Your secondary spawns are back here and back here. Guess where your revenge spawn is? Right here in the dumpster. That's right. So basically, as long as one of my teammates is here, I'm spawning primary, right? I'm spawning close as fuck to the point. Or if for some reason the secondary is blocked, I'm spawning right on the dumpster back into the anchor position. That's why P2 on this side, it's a mixy hill, yes, but flipping those spawns is really, really hard. That's why, because you're spawning right on the anchor position. I definitely should have used a different color there, but we'll switch it up. So blue is good on this side. The red team, so the red spawns, whatever, or the other spawns. Your spawns are all pretty much like jumbled right here. You got your primaries here. Your secondaries are like right here, which is, I wouldn't even count them as secondaries. You do have this one over here behind the the RV, and then you have your revenge spawn all the way down here. Now on this side, this makes sense to push, like for the blue team or the whatever. Let's just call this side blue team. It makes sense for the blue team here to push all these guys all the way back to this singular point, this revenge spawn. Now, how can they do that? Well, blue team, all you need to do is run up to I think this is a dumpster here, right? Yeah, this dumpster pretty much, right? And you just gotta look at the spawns, obviously, but you just gotta get presence up here, all the way out here, and this is gonna block all these, and it's gonna make them spawn there. Now, how you can guarantee that it's not gonna cause a flip? Have someone sit in the anchor position. That's gonna guarantee that if you die out here, you're gonna spawn here, and they're always gonna keep spawning here. You might get a weird parallel spawn, but that's only possible, and I'll show you exactly how. That's only possible if the red team pushes up to, let's say, this blue line. Not let's say, but that's how you would block and flip these spawns. It's still very hard to flip them, because once the primary and secondary are blocked, the revenge is here, so you're still spawning at the anchor position. But basically, if you were blue team or red team here, you would have to push up, circle all the way around, block these, then run up and kill this guy, whoever's going to spawn there, because one at least will spawn there, and then you have cleared out this whole spawn and the anchor position, then they will flip over. So again, the top side here has a huge advantage for P2. Again, P2 is still a very mixy hill. You know, not a lot of people know how to hold it down properly, but once people start realizing, oh shit, we can make them spawn all the way out here, that's when, you know, good teams that have proper setups, that's when they can really take advantage of the game mechanics. Now moving on to P3, definitely the good side is this bottom blue side. We'll stick with the right colors this time. Sorry if I confused you guys there, but this bottom blue side is definitely the good side. Your primary spawn for the blue side here is behind the SWAT truck. Then another primary is just outside this or just inside this little alley. And then you have your secondary back here, and then you have a really fucking weird secondary right in the open. I went back and checked. That's why this video is a little late, because there was an update, and I really thought they would just move this spawn to like right over here or some shit, or move both of them to like closer here, but this spawn still exists and you're still spawning really in the open. I don't know why. They should really fix that. Again, I don't know why. But on this side, there is no primary and secondary, which I think is good, just because, again, this side is a little bit overpowered. Your anchor position is pretty much this whole area. Like anywhere here, these two RVs underneath this, the building, you know, the pillar area, anywhere in that area, you are pretty much anchoring for your team, and you're going to keep this blue side pretty much every time. And again, those are the good spawns, I think. Just because when you're on the red team here, your first spawn is your primary spawn, basically, is right here. Your secondaries are back here. There's two there, and then your revenge spawns are way out here. And then I think there is one inside this building as well. So understanding Hardpoint, understanding the gameplay and the game mechanics, you can tell, okay, I want these spawns. I don't want them to spawn primary or secondaries. I want them to spawn revenge, preferably this guy all the way out here. Just look at the amount. Look at how far they have to run, right? That's pretty much what you want to take away from these videos, is where they're going to be spawning and how I can manipulate the spawn so that they're spawning the furthest away. You have an anchor position. Don't make sure someone's always anchoring. For blue team, if you want to obviously block the primary secondary, pretty simple. Just get some presence up here. You know, just so they're, you pretty much have to look at these spawns. If you're looking at them, like the game's gonna be like, all right, we can't spawn them there, right? So that's pretty much you're looking at. You're looking up anywhere in this general area. You're, you know, behind this car. There's a, you know, you can push up to here too. Like you'll be fine. Just keep as long as you have someone in that anchor position, like you're chilling. Like wherever you want to push up to, just don't go too far, obviously, because then there is a chance they get a split spawn where one of the enemies will spawn behind you guys, and that kind of ruins your whole little operation there. So again, if you are pushing and blocking them, be aware of the flank, because there will be a flank. So, you know, just be aware of it. But that's pretty much what you're looking at. Same thing as P2. Like, just because where the fucking anchor position is, again, like this whole area is pretty much the anchor position. All the spawns are literally right. Secondaries and the revenge spawns are out here. You're just spawning right back onto the anchor position. It doesn't matter. That's why for P3 and P4, having this side is huge. Having for P1, P2, this side is obviously huge as well, right? P4, I think if you have a good setup, you can definitely turn that into like a money hill. But it just depends how your team is set up. Red team, your primary is right here. You have one in laundry as well. And then your secondaries are just back outside on this side. And then you have a deep secondary, which is a very unfortunate spawn if you do spawn there. Again, if you are a blue team, you want to just basically kind of push up to this side. This will block primaries, and this is not going to block the secondaries, just because the secondaries are not in the line of sight of the player, right? Because if you're here, your kind of line of sight is like this, or your line of sight like this, and of course there's buildings, right? So if you are blocking, talk to your teammates and tell them, hey, I'm blocking. Make sure you check your flank, right? Because if someone spawns here, brother, and this lane is open, that's all I'm doing. I'm hitting right here, right? So keep that in mind. Like this P4, like whoever has the spawns, you're winning. The only way to like basically get them out of this P4 spawn is to get 2 players into it, the anchor position, and then kill all of them. Now you are in the anchor position, your team is in the anchor position, so now you control the whole point. But as long as there's like an enemy and your teammates in the anchor position, like it's going to be parallel spawns. Then they're going to be spawning here, you're going to be spawning there. Right? It's going to be like that, depending on whoever controls the hill. As long as someone is in the from both sides is in the anchor position, it's called a parallel spawn. So that's P4. A little messy, but with a good setup, it's definitely not hard to do. Again, though, like a good setup and talking to your teammates. That's why communication is very, very crucial. Moving on to P5, again in the very in the middle of the map. Not really a good side or a bad side in my opinion. I feel like this is pretty much like a 50-50. It just depends. Like P1, I wouldn't really play for these blue spawns anymore, just because P2 is there. So I would start trying to flip the spawns for P5 and P1. You know, that's a good time to flip it, because the next rotation is P1, then the one after that is obviously P2, and P2 is huge if you have the spawns, again, because the anchor position is on top of the spawns. But yeah, but for the blue side, you're looking at your closest spawn is, sorry, your primary spawns are going to be right here and here. Your secondaries are actually one back here, one behind this, and then your revenge spawns are just on this side right here, and one behind this truck again. Same thing on the red side. Your primary spawns are gonna be right here as well. A little bit in the open, but you know, it is what it is sometimes. There's actually a bunch of primary spawns for this side, I remember now. Yeah, those are your 4 primary. Then you have your secondary is right here, and then you actually have a secondary right here. And then, of course, your revenge spawns are all the way back here. I mean, now looking at it, I can definitely tell this side definitely does seem a little bit more favorable, just because that having that spawn over there would absolutely suck. Again, whichever side you do decide to go with, there are advantages to it. If you are on the blue side, you just want to basically get a presence outside this, you know, get someone on this heady, or, you know, however you want to play it, get someone on top of that if you want. But this will basically block these 4 primaries. These will basically block all this, pushing them to spawn secondary and the revenge spawns. If you're red team and you want to push them out, push blue team all the way out, you pretty much need to push up to this dumpster area again, and you're going to block primary and secondaries here and make them pretty much spawn revenge. Pretty simple, nothing too complicated. The basic, fundamentals still apply depending on which side you want to be. Again, I say for, let's see, P1, I would definitely want this side. P2, I definitely want this side for sure. P3, I would go for a flip, then go for here, especially for P4 and P5, to be honest. Yeah. So whichever side you do decide to play for, you got to flip the spawns. I don't know if you could win the game with just 3, 4, 5. I think 5 is too mixy. I think 3 is too mixy. So you can't just hope, we'll just take 3, 4, 5. You definitely will have to play this map to flip spawns and whatnot and stuff like that. But hey, I hope you guys learned something from this video. Make sure you guys leave a like. Make sure you guys share this with your friends. Try to make sure all those unknown people that you play ranked with get it, so that whenever you're solo queuing, you don't get absolutely fucked by, the randoms. And I hope you guys have a good day. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.